Welcome to Bitter Reality Brewing. Yes, today we are brewing a Kölsch ale, and not just any Kölsch ale. I'm not a huge Kölsch ale fan. Some of them are nice, some are cool. I've had a Rice Krispie Kölsch, that was freaking good. And that was actually from a brewer in Cask Brewing here in Jacksonville. So it was a local homebrew beer that was really good. I'm not a big cereal fan, but that was good. I may eventually brew that someday. But no, this is going to be a honey strawberry or strawberry honey Kölsch ale. Don't forget, like, subscribe, keep sharing, definitely appreciate it. Hit the little, hit the, make the red subscribe button go away. Just click it. Okay, that'll work. Thanks, appreciate it. Yeah, honey strawberry Kölsch ale. And I can flip the letters or words all over the place, it doesn't matter. This is gonna be with the steam condenser. Yep. My tests showed I had a certain boil off. I did an actual brew, the boil off was different. So I've adjusted my water, hoping to get as close as I humanly can to exactly, I believe it's 5.15 gallons is where I go to brew lately. I'm trying to get just a hair over, that way I know, after fermentation and everything's done and I go to dump it into the keg, I got plenty of beer left over. Sometimes when I do an IPA with a lot of hops, I'll do 5.25, knowing I'm gonna lose more of that beer to that. Or if I do something where I'm adding a lot of fruit pulp, do the same thing. This one, I'm gonna be adding something a little different than fruit pulp or fruit. So let me go over it. First of all, the grain bill is like stupid small. It's just under 6 pounds. Yeah, and you know I got the small batch adapter in the malt pipe, but I've got 5 pounds of Pilsner malt, nice, clean, mild. I've got 6 ounces of honey malt. Yes, we are still going to add honey, but I'm adding honey malt to make sure I enhance the honey flavor. As we know, a lot of the honey will ferment out. Then I'm doing 6 ounces of golden naked oats. Do me a favor, in the comments below, assuming you hit your efficiencies or better and you didn't just throw them in and they didn't contribute anything, let me know what you did with your golden naked oats. I put mine in a coffee grinder. I read so much from don't put them in your grain mill because it'll stick it and gum it all up, to hey, just toss them in, to put them in a coffee grinder, ground them into a powder, toss it in, which means I'm tossing in powdered oatmeal of some sort. I'm also going to be putting in some rice hulls in here. It goes without saying if I'm doing something crazy like that. Let me know how you treated your golden naked oats. That's a key. It's not just flaked oatmeal. It's not, puffed oats. It's golden naked oats. They're very specific. So the reason I added that is because golden naked oats, and that was one of my jokes about the cereal, is it seems to contribute a cereal-like or subtle sweetness to the flavor, which I feel will enhance both the honey flavors and enhance the strawberry flavors. So that's why I did it. I didn't want to add sugar. You know me, I'm gonna be basically mashing in at 148. So I'm going dry, definitely going dry, but I want a dry beer that has subtle sweetness and subtle flavors that are enhanced. I've done it with ciders where I've used certain yeast and I'll get the sweetness, although it's super dry, and it's the same thing. I'm going for something, I'm gonna get a little hint of what seems sweet, but it's going to be a drier beer. I know everybody's going, what is he talking about? Trust me, if you've had enough beers, you know. Now, I have on here that I'm using 9 ounces of corn sugar. I'm not using any corn sugar. I put that in to account based on the sugars in this, but I have Wolferman's Bakery. I'm told is like an amazing bakery, and it's 11.5 ounces of strawberry preserves. So the main ingredient is strawberries, and then of course followed by corn sugar, citric acid, and natural flavor, and pectin. So yeah, we're gonna drop this, and then I have 2 pounds here, but I'm only putting 1 pound in. Currently, I might go crazy, I don't know. I might even go crazy with strawberries. I got another thing of the preserves. So I could add double the strawberries, double the honey, but I'm trying to restrain myself. This is a local honey here in Jacksonville, actually Gainesville, Gainesville, local honey out of Gainesville, and pure unfiltered wildflower honey. I've got 2 pounds here. I'm gonna look to add a full pound, so I'm gonna have to play around with the weight and make sure I only add about 1 pound. And then we're going to be using, yes, Lallemand. I didn't know until recently, but Lallemand, I don't know how to pronounce K-O with little dots on top, L-N, but over here we'll call it Kölsch. So I'm going to be adding Lallemand dry Kölsch ale yeast. and we'll ferment it at whatever optimal temperature they tell us. We'll talk about that at the end, but that's pretty much it. My grains are crushed. We're gonna do a 75-minute mash at 148. We're gonna do a 10-minute at 168, and then of course sparge with 1 gallon. And I've got to add the brewing salts. I'll put them up there when I do it. Got to get the steam condenser off, and I am doing a 90-minute boil just because I'm trying to home in on my boil off. Eventually I'll go back to 60 from some brews, but for now we're sticking to the 90. Yeah, very important if you're using a steam condenser. Definitely very, 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 very important. And yes, this is Anvil steam condenser on an Anvil system. Let's get brewing. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, we're shooting for about 5.1. If I add more honey or add strawberry, you know, I lose my restraint. Yeah, we could be sitting closer to 6%, but for right now, we're looking at about 5.1, assuming a 75% efficiency, which we know I'm probably gonna exceed, so I'm figuring I'll probably be somewhere up around 5.2 to 5.4. And yes, the small batch adapter is in there, as always, even with my big grain bills. Let's get brewing. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and dump the brewing salts in. I don't know if you can see me. And as usual, I'll put the brewing salts up here on the screen so you can see what I'm doing. Get the mash paddle, stir those brewing salts up, drop the grain basket in. I want the feet to the back. You'll pivot around a little bit. And there we go. That'll probably drop our temperature just a hair or more. That feels pretty solid. Okay, we're gonna get mashed in and I'll speed this up as usual. Okay, there we go. Got a nice trickle going. And because of a little bit of a slope in my garage, I think I'm gonna turn this just a little bit. Okay, we got 75 minutes. We'll let it go. Okay, we've been there for 75 minutes. We're gonna kick it up to 168. When we get there, we'll be there for 10 minutes. I did pull the entire grain basket out once. There's such a low grain bill and so low amount of water. Probably wasn't necessary, but it's okay. Clear. Okay, I'm gonna kick it up to 168. We'll get it 100% just to get there quickly. Okay, we're done. I'm gonna pull the grain basket. I've got the water heating up for the sparge, 1 gallon. And once that hits about 170, I'll bring it over here and do the sparge. For now, I've gotta move some stuff. Okay, let me see if we can get enough leverage and pull this bad boy up. Done it before, shouldn't have a problem this time. Feels like it's stuck. Okay, I'm tired. I'm very tired. Okay, there we go. I know it's not that heavy compared to some of the grain bills I've had, but I guess if you're tired and your back is sore from working yesterday, that's what happens. Oh, it's a little hot too. I'll put some cold water on my hand. We'll let that drain for a minute. Okay, we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna crank the temp up actually. That way it can start heating up as I'm sparging. And I will speed this part up as usual. Okay, that was kind of weird. It's like the entire grain bill just kind of like was in the middle, just in a big cake. That's strange. A giant crab cake. That'd be good right now. We're gonna let that drip as it's heating up. Once we get close to 200, I'll pull that off, put it in the pot, and we will put the steam condenser on top. And I gotta get a pot over there for that too. 207, and it looks like we may have an early break. So I think I'm just gonna start the boil timer and I'll drop the hops at 60 minutes and we will be good. We only have one hop addition. It's 1 ounce of Hallertau Tradition, 60 minutes, and that's it. It's just a balance. Okay, I say that, and now I got foam and froth. I do have defoamer. I think I'm just gonna not waste my time and go ahead and 1, 2, It's only supposed to be 1 drop, but oh well, we got 2.5, almost 3. Scraping the bottom, everything seems good. The first time I did scrape the bottom, I did hit something in 2 spots. So that oatmeal might get a little sticky. I was just making sure it wasn't gonna cause us an issue. I'm gonna give that a second to hit full break before I put the steam condenser on top. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put the steam condenser on. Just a heads up with that steam condenser, you do not wanna just put it on top and then add your cold water, misting and all that stuff. No, you wanna get the cold water misting going before you put it on top. That way you don't end up creating a massive amount of heat and a big old boil over. Okay, here we go. Let's get this ready. Right there. That's pretty good. I'll set it over to the side just a little. I want to let it heat out. Open it up. I don't know why I ever close it. Oh, and of course it falls. Everything falls. Be careful. This is where I feel like the steam condenser really needs 2 people. Somebody to assist. Okay, I may need a clamp for that hose. You know what? Got a clamp. That'll help me. I don't have to worry about it falling. Okay, so we have cold water flowing. So let me take a look at that boil if I can. Not sure if I can jump up and down. I guess I can do it this way. Oh yeah, we got a nice rolling boil. So I'm gonna take the power, and what I've found is about 75% works beautifully for me. This is still cold, I'm okay. I'm gonna set it right like this, twist it around. It's sitting up against that. So we're at 75% boil, 212 actual temperature. We've got the steam condenser on. It's starting to do its job. It's already being cooled. We have this on here, and the reason I do that is I like to run the liquid from the pump through the boil for literally like 2 or 3 seconds, twice, just to make sure everything in that hose has been boiled. So I know that's weird. I'm OCD, sorry. Just is what it is. And we're good for 30 minutes. I'm gonna start my little timer if I can find the little thing. It's around here somewhere. There it is. So we'll start the timer. Okay, there we go. I've got all kinds of timers going on. So in 30 minutes, I got my hop addition. Hour and a half total from beginning is the end of the boil. And an hour and 20 minutes is the actual notification to remind me in the last 5 minutes to throw in the whirl flock, throw in the yeast nutrient, and anything else I need to do. Oh crap, we got the honey and the strawberry. Yeah, I gotta put that in around that time too. There's a lot of things going on in the last 5 minutes. Okay, we're gonna be here for, like I said, about 30 minutes. I already have the hops ready. Okay, we got 30 seconds before the alarm goes off, so I'm gonna kill it so I don't have to listen to it. But that's 1 ounce of hops. Like I said, Hallertau tradition, sorry. This smells nice, nothing special. Looks like I have the bag inside out. I'm not too worried. Ooh, that's hot. There we go. We're good for technically 60 minutes, but 50 minutes before I get my notice, 10 minutes before the end of the boil. I'll make sure to get one of the Jaded Scyllas ready. And then of course we got a bunch of additions. So hang in there. Okay, so my apologies for the narration. I let the mic die, didn't realize it was dead, and I'd been shoving down a hamburger and wasn't paying attention. Take your eye off the ball and yeah. Also had a little bit of a minor flood. Yes, a minor flood from the steam condenser. My fault again for not paying attention. You really need to manage that thing. You gotta stay on top of it unless you have a drain. I think I'm gonna get 9 more feet of hose, or actually, 9 plus the distance I have now, which is I think 3, so 12 feet, and I can run it straight in a drain. I don't want the hot water hitting my actual floor. So yeah, even with the cool water running properly, you should be around 110 to 120. I did spike at 140 when I didn't have the cool water pumping properly. I fixed that, not a big deal. So this, before I doubled the honey and more than doubled the strawberry preserves, which yes, there's little tiny bits of strawberry floating around. Yes, I am in an Anvil Keg King But yes, I did put a float at 2.0 in there. I prefer it. And on top of that, with all the strawberry seeds, I need to make sure I don't carry them over to the actual keg. So where should have we been? 1.046? Agreed. Do I think we way exceeded our expected efficiency? Yeah. I mean, come on. We had like less than 6 pounds of grains. It was pretty freaking easy. Not to mention the naked oats. I freaking pulverized those to a powder. So yeah, I know we exceeded our expected efficiencies. I'm thinking my brew house efficiencies were probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about 8.2, 8.15, something like that from what I was calculating. It would take a lot to get it exact. I'm not worried. But because I doubled the honey and I more than doubled the strawberry preserves, we're sitting up in the neighborhood of 1.058. Now it's telling me that this Lallemand Kölsch will somehow bring me down to 1.003. I doubt that. I think it's gonna be 1.00 something, probably 1.010. But if it does go a little below because of the strawberry and because of the honey, then yeah, it's gonna be a little higher. So I think, even though it's telling me 7.6, I think we're gonna be sitting somewhere on 6.4. So did I color outside the lines on a Kölsch? Hell yeah, way outside the lines. So I put a little bit of Clarity Firm. I was debating on that, but I figure strawberry doesn't have much protein in it. Honey probably doesn't have too much protein. I know it does a tiny bit, I think. And honey, I think it's honey. No, it's oats, sorry, oats have fat in it. I always remember that. It's kind of, or I always forget it and then remember it. So we're gonna cut this open. This is kind of weird. This Kölsch from Lallemand, it has a fermentation range of something like 59 Fahrenheit to 77 Fahrenheit. That's a pretty wide range. Not huge, but pretty wide. They do recommend 68 Fahrenheit, so that's where we're gonna ferment. That's a very bizarre smell. I don't want to contaminate it, but wow, it's a little weird. I can't quite put my nose on it quite literally, but hey. Pulling this up and out because as I lower it back down, I know some of that yeast is going to get on it, and if I put it back down afterwards, it's going to get right back into the liquid, which is all fine. As I'm doing this, it seems to be going outward, which is good. Okay, yeah, perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for. Did it. Awesome. Amazing. Let's pull this up so we don't have a problem. There we go. If you've made it this far, I got a question for you because I'm going to put this under pressure at around 5 psi. But let's say I wanted to put a bubbler on this. This does not have adapters for a bubbler. It just has normal keg poppets, whatever you want to call them, but connectors. How would you turn this into a bubbler? I have a few minor brainstorms that I haven't thoroughly thought out, but how would you turn this into a non-pressure fermentation using a quick disconnect? The only thing I've thought of so far, and I know this is probably very simple, is putting an actual keg disconnect on here with a hose going into some liquid, and it would just act as a bubbler. That's so far the only thing I've thought of that I've thought all the way through. So just a thought, and I noticed I have this over on the air side for my liquid extraction. Oh well, I'm not too worried. We'll figure it out. Sometimes you don't put things in the right place, but it'll work. Don't forget, like, subscribe, keep sharing, definitely appreciate it. Keep watching. I'm dying to find out where this ends up at part 2. I have a feeling that the strawberry and honey are gonna be extremely mild. I'm okay with that. Do I have some special surprises that we can apply to this to make the strawberry go a little nuts without adding artificial flavor? Yeah, I do. So I may or may not try that later. We'll see. I'll probably try it. I know I'm just like that. I like strawberry, it's nice. I definitely like honey, definitely nice. So we're gonna let this get fermenting and we'll see you in part 2. Cheers.